Rod and Style Television presents The Blue Martian, starring Zac Parks, along with his 1928 Ford. Watch as he restores it into a 1960s East Coast hot rod from outer space.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Blue Martian. We actually have awesome news, so I just want to sit down and tell you everything that's going on and telling you how we're actually going to change the project just a little tiny bit. So once we posted the video of The Blue Martian, I started posting pictures of the truck in different Facebook groups asking if anybody recognizes the truck, because the history of how I got the truck was the owner passed away, the neighbor bought the truck, then that neighbor reached out to me to trade the truck for a T-bucket I was building. We traded, and I tried to get some information from him. He was helpful, but since that owner passed away, the owner of the truck, of the Blue Martian, passed away, we weren't able to get much really information. And far as I know, I think that owner's wife moved after he passed away, so he wasn't actually neighbors with them anymore. I think that's how the story goes. But what happened was I posted the picture of the truck on a bunch of Facebook groups asking if anyone recognizes the truck, if they knew who the original owners were, anything like that, hoping someone would send me a picture of how the truck used to be. And we got lucky. I have my notes in front of me so I don't get anyone's names wrong. I want everyone to get the credit that's due. Ron Vanoy, he reached out to me saying, hey, I recognize that truck. Looked at exactly how it was the last time I saw it. He actually sent me some pictures, and the pictures are actually dated from 1957. So that makes this truck so much more exciting to me. It's not like a historical builder built it, but what I love about it was what I loved about it originally. It's not just a stock Model A that we're hot rodding. It actually does have some history. He sent me these two pictures I'll show you here. Then he sent me two more pictures later, and you can see the truck is sitting in front of a Sinclair gas station. That's in West Virginia, Fairmont, West Virginia, and that's from 1957 when they first got the truck on the road. That's what I know of so far anyways. So 1957 was when it was built. It's basically what it looks like when I got it, just a couple more alterations. So the story goes, four brothers and a couple friends built the truck back then in 1957. They took turns driving it to high school. They took turns, kind of owning the truck, having the truck for themselves. So the names of the four brothers that I have so far is Mark Hose, George Hose, Nicky Hose, and Jack Hose. And their friends that helped them build it was Ron Vanoy and Ron Butchanan. So I might have got some of those names pronounced wrong, but I wanted to give credit where credit's due. They're the ones who originally built the truck back in the day. The story goes it bounced kind of from brother to brother and a friend, and they bought it from one another. And the last person to actually own it and have the truck on the road is Mark Hose. So we actually are in contact with one of the brothers, and we're actually going to have Trent Sherhill. He's going to fly out and interview them in person and get a bunch of cool stories about the truck, how they built it. We love to hear fun memories that happened back in the day of what they did. And just to give you a little bit of a hint of what that interview is going to include is Mark Hose had the truck last. And when he had the truck in the mid-60s, he put a small block Chevy in it, 283 to be exact. And he said it would lift both tires off the ground. And he said he remembers when the V8 Mustang first came out, the 289 Mustang first came out, that he was whooping their asses all over the streets. So stories like that is super exciting to hear. Also, Mark painted the truck blue with a vacuum cleaner. I guess the vacuum cleaner had an insecticide sprayer on it, and he filled it up with paint and painted the truck with the vacuum. So there's a lot more cool stories. I don't want to share them all right now. I want the sit-down interview to really be full of all that kind of stuff. But when Mark Hose had the truck, here's what it looked like. It had that rag top on it. It still had the bob fenders. The body is pretty much exactly the same, except for Mark painted it blue, and he also painted the Blue Martian on the side of the truck. So he painted that in the 60s, the mid-60s as far as I understand. And pretty cool, pretty exciting that I basically got the truck exactly how it was in 1965. He said he got married in 72, and the registration on the truck is from 72. That was the very last registration that it ever had. So kind of a cool story. We know where it came from. We know what happened. And I can't wait. I'm going to sit down with Mark and Trent here in Virginia. Then Trent is actually going to go and talk to Ron in West Virginia sometime 30 days from now kind of time frame. So by the time hopefully you guys are watching this video, they've already have done that. So I am super excited to hear the stories. I already love what they told me so far, and I don't want to spill the guts on everything because I'd love to sit them down and really just, you know, we love hot rods. We love the cool stories. I love hearing that this truck was driving around when the first 289 Mustang came out. That makes this truck so much cooler. And when I get done with it, I plan to actually have this truck driving and running around the streets in October of 2022. So we could take it to Trog, drive around, show it off. So I also promised both of these guys that they'll get to see the truck, ride around in it. And it would be really cool actually to get Mark to drive it, because we originally planned to put a 425 Buick Nailhead in it. Now that we have these pictures and all this information, we know it originally had a 239 Mercury flathead, and it had a 3-speed on the column with a banjo wren. That's how it was built originally in the first 4 pictures that we got. Then when Mark rebuilt it in the 60s, he put a 283, and he put, I think it's a 57 Chevy rear axle on the back. So what we're going to do is change our plan just slightly. The overall concept of the truck is going to stay the same because we were actually designed it to be a 60s style truck, and it ends up, when it was built in the 60s, this is exactly what we planned it looked like. So when it was built in the 60s, it looks exactly how we imagined that it would be built. So we got lucky that the design was exactly the same except for the motor. So we actually got a 283 motor. I got a 350 trans that's going to go behind it. This thing is channeled 7 inches. It kind of just kills your leg room underneath the dash. The dash comes down to your legs so far, so there's not going to be a clutch. We're going to go automatic and just enjoy the truck being channeled so hard because it looks cool. It looks awesome. And it has the convertible top bows that we got. It was in the picture, so we're going to continue with that and not chop the bows, the windshield down any, because any of you guys who've been in a super channeled car, you need that headroom. So it's going to be an East Coast hot rod just like it was in the 60s. Channeled to death, no chop. And I'm more excited about this build now than I was before. And before I was already super excited because I recognized it as a 60s hot rod, and it actually is a 60s hot rod. So I can't wait to talk to Mark in person, and I can't wait for him to drive it around. So hopefully we'll pull the front tires like Mark did back in the 60s. That'd be pretty cool. But we do plan to hot rod the 283 out quite a bit now. We were already boxing and really giving a lot of good strength to the frame. We already plan to have tubular K-member and stuff like that we got from Boling Brothers. So we're super appreciative of that. So not very much of the plans have changed, but the motor plans changed a little bit. To the 283, we're going to do 2 4s, aluminum heads, fin valves, valve covers, and we're going to paint it so it doesn't look like it has aluminum heads, so we can still keep that 60s vibe. So that's the plan that we have going right now. It's going to be killer. The frame's already turning out pretty good, and we're just going to put it back together exactly like that picture from the mid-60s when Mark took that picture. So just want to keep you guys a quick update of what's going on, and make sure you like and subscribe to the Rod and Style YouTube channel so you can get those interviews, and you can get that video later on of us meeting up with them with the truck, and hopefully they like it just as much as we do. I know they're watching. So thanks for watching, guys. Get your shift together.